And welcome back. Alright, so we are at Helleborg. Now let's get out of Helleborg and let's go to Einarstead, I think. And make our way east from there. So the plan is to scout the very northeast corner of the map during this episode. See if that's where the monolith is hiding. But first, let's take a look at the weaponsmith here at Einarstead. Okay, so do we have anything? No, of course not. Out of curiosity, what are these? Well, this is... yeah, okay. Well, let's, I think, head straight back to Eilenberg, since we can spawn something there. Kind of, I don't know, funny, ironic, a little bit. Oh, it's not the same one. Well, anyway, let's head to a place where we can spawn something, though there isn't a weaponsmith here, so not quite as exciting. Are these barbarians really going to fight us? It seems like no. Okay. The AI is just getting confused all the time. I might also be getting a little bit confused this episode. I'm feeling a little bit tired, but let's see how we do. Okay, horse race, no thank you. We don't have a dumb person with us, and even if we did, at this point we really don't need the money. Anyway, let's head to Eilenberg and from there head east. Or that's the plan at least. I guess I can go 8 times speed. Not afraid of what we can find along the way, unless it's like lindworms or a very nasty group of hexen. Something like that. Goblins want to die. Well, like I said, not afraid, but that's going to be a slightly annoying fight. But fight we will. Kill them we shall. That is a lot of nets, by the way. That's going to make this even more annoying than usual. And yes, indeed, they also have a shaman. Okay, well, try to freeze Zahiri there. Good job. Well, maybe I will use the Blitzkrieg, but definitely not yet. So let's go ahead and use the adrenaline there. I guess I'll free Einar here with Hadi. Maybe I should have used Zubar for that though, since he can't move and attack. Unless I do a rotation, but I could just move and attack with Mahdi instead. Let's do that. Okay. Nice, and if they actually stay there, the miasma will kill them. Well, then again, I want to do this probably. Okay, so if I move forward now, Zahir is definitely getting netted. How bad is that? It's a little bit bad. So I guess I shouldn't, like, take that risk needlessly. Let's just kill this guy, I guess. So, nice try, Miasma, but this isn't your time to shine. Also, what the hell's going... oh, you're still trapped in a net. Okay. Makes sense. Like I said, I'm a bit tired. Anywho, let's advance here. Going for the flank, that's probably fine. Even if you do get netted. And netted you do get. Alright, break yourself free, I guess, and move. And advance like there. Hopefully he doesn't get punctured a lot. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen anytime soon, at least. And I suppose I'll use the adrenaline like this, which is a bit of a waste, but oh well. Don't step into your own miasma. Okay, goblins, it's time to die. Please just die and stop annoying me. Alright, wait. And I guess you engage there. Maybe use the Blitzkrieg, but let's wait on that as well. Leofric does not wait. That's his thing. Alright, you are still trapped in it there, Zahiri. Shame. There we go, taking damage as well. But we are getting there, slowly but surely. That's fine. Basically, there's no doubt about the outcome of these fights, so I am a little bit bored by this, but oh well. Anyway, sure, use the Blitzkrieg, whatever. It's fine. It's a waste, but it's fine. Take care of that one first, and actually take your dagger and stab this guy's head. Wait there and kill this one, please. Thank you. Okay, only 5 of them left, which means they will be fleeing, I think. If they can. I can maybe, like, stop them. I guess I'll try. Right. I'll try to get the shaman as well. I suppose, and I should be able to do so. Okay, run them down. Just the shaman left. There we are. Okay. Let's take your garbage and continue. That's what you get for interrupting us. Okay, so nearly there. So we come across a broken down cart. I'm not going to do anything there, whatever. If you help them, there's a possibility of, I think, a temporary injury, and if you just steal things, well, then you're being a naughty boy, and I don't feel like that's necessary at the moment. Anyway, so we made it. And once again we find some battle-forged equipment, which means we won't be buying anything. Unless the Fletcher has something. But, of course, the Fletcher doesn't. Okay, well, good talk. We can use some food though. Okay. And I guess that's all we do here. I'll check what this is though. Okay, so that's Noble War stuff. I don't currently care. Let's instead head to the northeast, like I said. I will, I guess, kill champion enemies along the way. Probably. Maybe not all of them. Maybe I'll leave some for the way back. But yeah, let's scout this little tiny patch of fog of war there. Okay, nothing. How about over there? Going over the gloomy hills. Still on this stupid trading goods ambition, which I could have taken care of a long while ago. And I probably should have, but I didn't. We see orc tracks. We see an orc camp. It's a pretty easy one. I'll leave it be. Plethora of orc young. I'll also leave that group for now. I really want to find the monolith. Even if I won't necessarily do it in this episode. But if I find it, then it will be the next episode, as long as no one dies. So let's go take a look in the northeast, and if we don't find it here, then I guess I'll go for Vargash Sapat, which is a pretty tough orc camp. Also does have a champion in it, currently at least. And it seems we're again running out of food. Should have bought some more of it. Well, as long as we don't go hungry, it's fine. Enough for 5 days, you say? Okay, well, that should be enough for a little excursion. Okay, so nothing there. How about at the very corner? Okay, Einar is telling us about Leofric begging again. Okay, sure. Oh, there it is. There is the Black Monolith. Okay, so we found it. So it's pretty early on in the episode, so I could do it now. Attempt it now, that is. There's no guarantee we'll actually win. We have all the potions, so the options are do it now. Not sure if I'm mentally prepared to do it right now, though. Or I do it next episode, like I said. A minor consideration, not a big one, is that if we are close to a level up which grants a perk on someone, then that would help us a bit. I think it's pretty unlikely, though. And, well, the only option would be Gerhard, who's like not actually that close. So probably don't care about that consideration. So obviously the team is not going to change unless someone dies beforehand. The team isn't completely like... It's somewhat optimized, but we do have Milo with us, for example, and our tank, while being a decent tank, has pretty low hit points, etc, etc. So this isn't by any means the perfect composition of bros we have here, but this is what we have. I don't know. Am I making like excuses beforehand before I lose this fight? Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, so yeah. I guess I will do it now. That means drinking the potions straight away. And also we do have these strange mushrooms. So I need to decide who gets to use these. Who doesn't need the melee defense as much and benefits the most out of the plus 25% damage, which is pretty substantial. Anyway, so yeah, let's get to the potions. Okay, so we have... Did I have 12 of these? Let's check. 4, 8, yes, 12. So everyone gets one of these second wind potions. And then we also have these Lionheart potions. So the tank gets one. So as you drink more potions, more than one potion, you might get sick. But if you do get sick, we can just wait it out. The problem with that is, though, that we are a little bit low on food. So how long does sickness take? Is it like 1 to 2 days, something like that? Well, the tank definitely gets one. So hopefully don't get sick. But you did. 1 to 3 days. Okay, so... Alright, so what we might do here, since we are running out of food, is we might head back to civilization and not do any fights in the meanwhile. Since, yeah, obviously that would lose the potion effects for us. Well, I guess everyone else who's going to drink one, drinks one as well. So that means we need to also run from anything that wants to fight us, which is hopefully going to be successful, but yeah. And also I need to consider what the actual formation for the fight will be. I might make a small edit here as I think about that. So people to the northern flank will be targeted by the ancient priests the most, at least early on. And I also want people with high hit points there, because that's also where the miasma will be at the start of the fight at least. Also, yes, our team is not all that good with the hit point situation, so that is a definite thing that can get us killed. I don't really care if some of us die as long as we win, but still. Anyway, so we have 4 more of these Lionheart potions and I am going to use them. I guess they should go on people who are needed the most for the damage dealing. And I also need to decide if Supar is going to be using this weapon for this fight. I think he will, since this is excellent against the skeletons especially. It's not quite as good, I think, against like the savants, but against the skeletons it's quite good. What I could do, of course, is give him a one-handed cleaver again. It's been a while. That is also pretty damn good for him. And give like Einar this flail again. But anyway, yeah, let's do one thing at a time. So Lionheart potions now. So Zubair, I think you get one, and I think Zahiri gets one. They didn't get sick either, so that's pretty nice. Mahdi is a pretty damn nice damage dealer as well, as is Leofric. I think Leofric gets one. He's one of the guys who I want to keep in fighting condition for the whole fight, though it's with this amount of hit points and without underdog, it's going to be... It might not be guaranteed. And he gets sick. Okay, sure, that's fine. Ish. Actually, maybe the last one goes for Wolfgang. Okay, and he also gets sick. Alright, so, yeah. The more optimal way of doing this would have been to wait for next episode and, I don't know, drink the potions way back in civilization, where I can just wait it out, wait the sickness out, and then head back here. But this is how we're doing this, I guess. I'll eat the mushrooms later, so... We found it, and now we'll head straight back to find food and avoid any fights we find along the way. So this is a pretty silly way of doing things, but I think that's the way I should be doing it, since I did decide to do it in this episode. Alrighty. This also gives us time to get rid of the sickness, I suppose. Also, it is a bit silly how it works, that potion effects last until you take a fight instead of just wearing off, but I guess I should be happy about that. So let's go to Adlerstein and then maybe even go to Einarstead. See what the situation with the sickness is. Also, one major thing for this fight is that Theodobald does have the Undead Trophy, which is kind of necessary. He also has 90 resolve, but he still might break, so hopefully that doesn't happen, because if he breaks, then we might all be dead. We need him to stay alive and hold the northern flank for at least a while. And I suppose Bertram does need to stay in rally range of him especially, which he currently is doing. But anyway, here we are. Let's buy actually all the food you have, since I don't want that to be the deciding factor here. And how long do we have? 1 to 2 days, so still some time. I'll check what's here. Well, we find something, but it's once again one of these heavy helmets that we don't care about. Okay, well, still we have some time, so let's head to Einarstead again and see if there's anything there. Okay, please don't fight me. I don't want to fight. Okay, thank you. We have taken performance-enhancing substances, and we don't want to waste their effects. Okay, wait for dawn. Like, if I get careless here and something decides to fight me while I don't notice, then this is going to be a huge waste. Okay, so we don't have anything famed here again, or still. So we definitely have enough food now. Okay, so nothing else. I guess I'll have a round of drinks as well. Improve the morale a little bit. And let's head back there, back to the monolith. Which is quite the trek, but sure. Alrighty. So I don't know what our chances here are. I would imagine that they're over 50% at least. Hindsight will tell us more. And also RNG does play a part here, definitely, since I think it's far easier to break, to lose your nerve, to become a running milksop. It's easier here, and probably in vanilla, though I don't remember vanilla gameplay all that much, than it is in Legends, with which I have much more experience with. So if our tank or someone else loses their nerve and starts to run, then everyone might be dead at that point, since it's pretty difficult, in my experience, in Reforged to actually rally them, but there are more ways to do it, I guess, since polearms get the bolster perk, etc, etc. So there are ways to deal with it, but it's also quite devastating if it happens. Anyway, is anyone sick anymore? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so strange mushrooms. I think backliners could benefit a lot from these, so Wolfgang and probably Gerhard. And someone else who's, like, capable of taking a punch or staying out of trouble. So maybe like Einar, who has a reach weapon. And maybe like Zubair, who does have pretty low hit points, but he does also have Man of Steel, Steel Brow, and 9 lives, so maybe that's... and also Underdog. Also, Zubair should maybe start like somewhere around here, a little bit further away from the miasma. Like I said, the hit point situation might become an issue. Milo, I guess, will be like a backup secondary tank on the northern flank. Charade is semi-tanky at least, and does deal decent damage against Necrosavants, but is pretty useless against the skeletons for the most part. Not completely useless, I guess, but not as useful as some of the others. Anyway, let's give Zubair some strange mushrooms. I don't know if that's the right call, but let's do it. Oh god damn it, you got sick. Well, we can wait that out as well. I didn't remember that you can get sick from these. Last for the next battle. Yeah, I should have eaten them straight away. Well, once again a mistake. But we have enough food. We can camp here for 3 days if need be. So I'm really not doing this as correctly as I should be, perhaps, but... I guess there's an interaction with the potion effects here, so that's why everyone's getting sick from these. Yeah, I should have realized that. Well, I didn't. Anyway. Well, let's get down with the sickness, I guess. Hadi is someone we need to babysit as well. Yeah, I guess I'll give Einar some mushrooms here. That will make him die easier, of course, but that is a risk I'm willing to take. The other option would be actually Charade, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not the right call. Anyway, since Einar is using this reach weapon, let's go with that. Anyway, I think I'm like preparing for this fight more than I ever have, since it went so poorly the last time I was playing Reforged. Anyway, so yeah, we are now sick again, so let's wait. Guess I'll wait with 4 times speed. Well, I did buy enough food for this, so it should be fine. Hopefully we don't get into like a gambling event fight where someone gets a nasty injury while we wait here. Okay, you two are still sick. Also, is this the formation I want for the fight? The initial start of the fight. Maybe Charade should be like here, just to handle the savants that go for the back line, especially for Gerhard and Hadi. I think that's probably better. Probably want someone with underdog, even if it's diminished a little bit by the mushrooms on this flank here. 84 hit points. Okay, and Einar, I guess, starts in the front line, but will not be advancing on the skeletons. Maybe not the best idea to do this while I'm not completely at 100% myself. Like I said, I'm a bit tired. But we are doing this. We are at least attempting this. Okay, still sick. Let's wait. Let's continue waiting. Do it during the daytime, though. Okay, and now no one is sick again. Okay, good. This is quite a lot of text for the Black Monolith lore. I will not read it. I have read it in the past. Looks like whoever was digging there got interrupted. Go in. And with you to the end, Captain. Engage. Okay, engage, please. Alright, so 47 enemies. No boulders nearby. So yeah, the plan is to let Theodbold handle the northern flank with Indom. Hopefully he can do it for a while. And if not, then he can shield wall. So I shouldn't move a lot since, well, one consideration is that Theodbold has club footage. So he's currently recovering 19 fatigue per turn, and Indom costs 20 fatigue, so not quite optimal. If he had iron lungs, then he could keep it up forever, but he doesn't. Anyway, what we'll do here is wait. I'll keep the combat speed up for now, but it will be lowered a bit. After the lines clash, or maybe a little bit before that. So we really want to position ourselves as well as we can and not to give them any advantage here if we can. So that means we will be backing off a little bit. 1 or 2 tiles, I think probably 2. I have done this fight a bunch of times, but I don't know. Don't have like a set in stone strategy that I can always rely on, though I am kind of doing the same thing basically every time. Someone tanky is handling the northern flank, etc, etc. Anyway, so I guess there's no real reason to use Indom yet, but yeah, like I said, we will be backing off. I guess 2 tiles. And the savants will engage after the lines have clashed. Meaning that they actually allow us to do this, backing off, don't need to worry about it. And we'll use the tactician abilities later, hopefully we don't need to be rallying. So Theobald could stay there, or maybe like move here, or here. So like I said, he does need to stay within rally range, because we might be needing that rally. We can of course reposition Bertram probably. I think he stays put for now. We can always, well, not necessarily, but we might be able to reposition next round, maybe. And keeping him close does have its advantages. Okay, so Milo, like I said, is the secondary tank on this flank, and I guess he can also absorb some savant attacks. So maybe move like even back there. We do have a net for Hadi, which there should be 1 Necrosavant Lord, so ideally the net goes for that one. Alright, and let's wait again. So I could already use like Onslaught. Hold steady is way too early. I could also maybe use like Blitzkrieg. There will be plenty of time to use this later, as long as I don't need to keep rallying though. I think I'll wait. The Blitzkrieg should be used early, as the faster enemies are obviously the Necrosavants. And we want to deal with the Savants as early as possible. If we can, especially the Necrosavant Lord. Alright, so the lines have clashed now. Alright, I think I'll still wait, though I could definitely attack here twice already. How nice of this legionary with the pike to go into the front line. So one thing about Reforged is that the ancient priests are far more dangerous than they were, and part of the reason, or maybe the major reason, is that they have inspiring presence. So if one of these priests ends up next to like an honor guard, then that is quite dangerous indeed. I don't know why I chose this time to bring that up, but anyway. Okay, I think I'll just go for it here. Is there a point in leaving this skill for someone else? Maybe for like Zahiri, but then I don't get to attack twice with Mahdi. So probably not. Let's just get the kill. Okay, I could also do like a rotation for Wolfgang. That does mean that he gets to attack twice this round. He might get to do so anyway, as the Savants should be coming in. I think. He is also kind of frontline capable, at least for a while. And the thing with Mahdi is that he can move 2 tiles and attack, so maybe the rotation here is okay. I guess I'll go for it. There's the Conqueror. Okay, wait. There's the Miasma. Alright, so Theodobald with Indom, even with his low amount of hit points, hopefully can keep on breathing that noxious stuff in. And also, yes, I made the right call, I think, with the rotation, since the Savants didn't get here before Wolfgang gets to act again. Okay, so, yes, Castigate. Should I use Castigate here or go for maybe like these 3 from there? I think this is definitely better, going for the backline first. It also keeps the Miasma away from us. That does put Einar in a bit of a more dangerous spot, though. I think I'll go for that. After all, he does have underdog and pattern recognition. Okay, that's not very good. Well, the chances weren't that high, I guess. Alright. Hopefully I don't lose my voice as I continue with this fight. Okay, let's use Zahiri here. Okay. I think I'll leave that kill for next round for Zahiri, so I'll go for another one. 89, okay. And yeah, like I said, Shurate should probably wait for the Savants. That means doing nothing currently, unless I move, which I guess I could do. Do that. Leofric, this is basically the only spot you can take and attack, so do that. And from this point onward, Leofric should not be waiting. Okay, go for a single target attack here, I think. Even with the second wind potion enhanced stamina, the Reap is going to fatigue you out if I keep doing that, and obviously this isn't a very good spot for it. Okay, now I will lower the combat speed. The Savants are coming in. Let's go with 2 for now. Theodobald is confident, that's good to see. Hopefully he remains like that. And we'll see if having 87 hit points for your tank is enough. It might not be, we'll see. But at least he can indom. Anyway, so Necrosavant Lord went for Charade. That's actually pretty damn nice for us, especially since Hadi is nearby as well. So we can use a net if need be. We can also maybe even get the stun there. Also, one minor mistake I made. Hadi still has, I think... Yes, we still have heavy javelins. I should have just equipped throwing axes or bolas, I think. Anyway, whatever. So yes, Blitzkrieg now. I think since we are facing the Savants... Yeah, I think so. And we'll use like... Hold steady at the beginning of next round. One thing we have going for us as well, which I didn't for the Poacher run, is that now I have a Tactician. In the Poacher run, my Tactician died during the Goblin City fight. Anyway, move there. That's a good inspiring presence spot. And also if I do this, I don't need to do the Indom now, though that means taking more damage from the miasma. No, whatever. Whatever. Hopefully whatever. Also keeps the fatigue going for a bit longer, so I guess do nothing else. So that means, yeah, miasma damage. Having some form of poison immunity would be nice. I don't think there's a way of getting that in vanilla, though there might be. In Legends, there are a couple of ways. Anyway, down to 78 hit points. And I guess I'll play it safe and use the net there. It also means that once Hadi gets in melee, which he probably will, he can get the double grip bonus. It's also reposition like there. A stagger is pretty good. Okay, so Milo, I could attack here straight away, but I think it's better to keep him as like a secondary tank, like I said, and also as a Necrosavant magnet over here somewhere, so maybe like there. He doesn't deal the best damage, but he can deal some damage as well against like a Praetorian, but yeah, it's going to take a while to get through that armor, so ideally against Savants. So I think he actually moves like there. What is his resolve? Okay, 99, that's hopefully plenty. Hopefully. And there's no point using the Falcon since I already used the Blitzkrieg. Okay, well, 95 and a hit. But yeah, these guys are pretty tanky. I could try to move. Is there a point? I don't think there is. Yeah, I don't think there is. Okay. Hopefully take care of this. And Sahiri's resolve is 93, so at some point a priest is going to target him with their horror ability, and hopefully he's able to resist it, because if I want to keep the tempo buffs, then I can't really use the waiting trick. Well, anyway, 99 resolve, and yeah, he is confident. But losing even one turn here can be the difference between life and death, at least for one person. It also means if I use the waiting trick, I don't get the riposte, which is pretty significant here, I think. What I want to do is probably not passing step at all, so stay here. Attack the Savant. Get the riposte and hopefully he doesn't get horrified. Anyway, so a Savant has been dazed, so I think I'll actually go for the Palatinus here. We miss an 80% and get hit by 22. Okay, well, not good. Not terrible, but also not good. Einar also could be in trouble in a position like this. We need to deal with these enemies pretty quickly here. I think this AoE is what I'll go for. 70, 80 and 62, so not the best, I guess, in the chances department, but I think that's the best option we have. Okay, this time we get a bit lucky. I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. Here we just attack. Good. Okay, Wolfgang, finish this one, please. You didn't. But now you did. And this Savant is dazed, like I said, but I think it's probably still worthwhile just finishing him off. I could also step there and go for like a back line. Let's just do that. Okay, good. Okay, and Gerhard. So AoE is available. I think we probably go for it. It seems like one of them is shield walling, but we still have like a 67, which, while not perfect, is like pretty good. Okay, get one kill. So obviously the good outcome for this fight is that I'm way over prepared and we beat this with ease, and that might be happening, but it's still pretty early on. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. He is completely fatigued out now though, so can't keep on AoEing. Okay, Mahdi's resolve is 68, that's a bit low. So if he ends up near the priests, then I definitely want to use the waiting trick. I think he's probably safe from the Horrify for now, but maybe not. So what I can do is go for this immediately, or maybe for this Palatinus, or I could wait for the Savants. I think I'll wait. And now we use Hold Steady. I think this is the perfect time for it, since the Savants are still in play. And while Onslaught is good, most of us have acted already. Hold Steady. And now we start indoming. And straight away end your turn there. Now we take only 3 miasma damage. Okay. I think we go for this straight away, though it's a kind of a bit of a waste of damage. I could just leave that kill for Hardy. Or maybe that's being too optimistic, since I also want to stun the Lord. So I think I go for it and get the kill straight away. Now the question is, do I also step forward? I think I'll wait instead. Okay, stun. That's good to see. Let's not waste any more ammunition on the Lord. Getting a stagger doesn't really help here, I don't think. I think I'll wait for a Savant perhaps to reposition, in which case we can go for a stagger. Or something. Okay, 7%, 5% and no lucky hits. Good to see. And also the Conqueror has engaged with our main tank. That's also very nice. Taking a bit of damage. The free riposte is working well. Okay. That's probably actually good for us. That's not good that Einar gets hit, but it's pretty good that, no, I'll speak when they have actually ended their turn here. It's pretty good, I think, that the Decanus decided to go there, though I don't have a flail right next to him. And he is shield walling. But taking care of him early would be nice, though there are obviously more of these special skeletons around. So yeah, Einar is a bit in trouble. He might be dying at some point in this fight. But for now, he's still alive. Alright, and it seems that Mahdi has been engaged. 57. Can I hook shield? I don't think so. Yeah, this has like a... Yeah, cannot be used against a target using shield wall adjacent to an ally using a shield wall. So this ability is pretty damn bad, I think. Okay, well, we just go for a 57, I think, then. Might have been a positioning error on my part, since that is really wasting Mahdi's damage. We can, of course, hit that 57. I could try to move, but I don't think that's called for. Okay, we get the semi-lucky hit. Which is nice to see. Okay. And now I think we'll use the Falcon. Probably will be shield walling a lot with Milo. And in hindsight, maybe it would have been better to use like a... Well, then again, it wouldn't probably matter. But I was considering that I maybe should have taken like a minus fatigue cost shield here instead of this one. But yeah, sure, use the Falcon, I think. We'll go for damage, yeah, and it is not a lot, since that is a lot of armor. Now I think Supar does move forward. Hopefully we can keep Einar alive for a while. Okay, go for the Lord again. "40 enemies remain. 69, well that might be nice, or it might not. We do need to deal with this guy pretty quickly, ideally though. So probably go for him. I could also go for the Paladins here first at least. 70% to activate Berserk and to thin their numbers. Yeah, let's go for that. Okay, good. So I could use Passing Step. I think there's still no point using it. Also, we are probably getting Miasmat in the main formation here pretty soon. Probably even during this very round. Also, are there only 2 priests here? I don't remember if there were more during my poacher run. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. How about dealing with this first? He is kind of problematic for Wolfgang. Mahdi could perhaps get a Berserk activation from there as well as Wolfgang, so I think we'll instead go for the Decanus here. Yeah, let's go for that. 76. Okay, excellent. Can we do it twice? Yes! Good job. Good job, Zahiri. And we can still keep the riposte up. That's nice to see as well. Only 58 for Leofric, but I think he goes for it. Fail. Okay, success. Going for Charade, nice to see. And the spears are actually pretty good against the savants, and that's the Lord taken care of. Okay, and I can still do the AoE here. I think that's a pretty good one. 92, 95, 95, 95. Well, maybe this is better in that case. 3 times 95. Excellent. So yeah, this castigate ability from this new legendary flail is pretty nice. Pretty damn nice. I don't really like the miasma effect though, as I've said multiple times. 36 enemies remain. 61. So obviously not getting the best chances here, but I don't know, we just have to deal with it. Having like even more flails in the lineup might be good. Well, let's see, 61. Okay, good. Good, good, good. And we can still attack twice. As long as I don't move. Wolfgang's resolve is 88, so he might resist. So the optimal thing here would be to be able to attack one of these guys without a shield twice. Instead of one with a shield. So I could wait, but there is a possibility that he gets horrified. I think the chances are pretty low for that though, so I think I will wait, but it might be a mistake. It definitely might be a mistake. Also, I am losing my voice, so apologies for that. But at least I'm starting to wake up in this fight. I was pretty groggy there earlier, but this is kind of getting me going. Okay, so Gerhard is running out of fatigue, so we can't keep on reaping. Would be nice to have like battle flow, but he doesn't. So I should be able to attack twice here, though. Can I? 24 to attack twice. Yes, I can do 2 attacks here. And I don't care about getting Berserk, though the Killing Frenzy, I guess, is a consideration. He does already have it, though. So what I'm thinking is I go for the Legatus here twice. I think that's good. Okay. And completely fatigued out, so we might be recovering next round. We'll see. Okay, more of them coming in. Keep on indoming. Eventually the Conqueror will hit though, and... Okay, well, I'll take a look in a moment. We might be losing Theodobald to the Conqueror. That's... I don't know. Semi-likely, actually, but hopefully it takes a while. Hopefully it takes long enough. So let's see, what were the Conqueror's chances there? $24 and $23. Oh, never mind. Yeah. In Legends, the Conqueror has fast adaptation, but he doesn't here. That's still, like, that's going to hit eventually, unless I shield wall. Which I can't do in conjunction with Indom, at least for long. Maybe for like a round or two. Anyway, it's a good thing also that we haven't needed the rally yet. But the question is, when do I use Onslaught then? I have already acted with like most of us. So maybe I should use it like next round, perhaps. I could also take this opportunity to recover, but it seems very unnecessary here. So how many of us haven't acted? There's Zubair and Mahdi. Anyone else? Hadi. Yeah, I think we'll use that later. Though I don't know. Wolfgang still gets to act as well, as does Milo. Well, the issue with the turn order is going to be the same in future rounds as well, so maybe I'll just use it now. Yeah, let's just use it now. Okay. Getting hit there. But Einar wasn't hit. I'll check out of curiosity. Yeah, pretty high chances, so maybe I made a positioning error. Especially since I did take those mushrooms for Einar. But he's still hanging in there. Definitely not many hits away from being dead, though. Even with the 9 lives. Anyway, I think Milo... Let's see. Does he shield wall here already? I think he does. Shield wall and attack. And get the riposte. And Zubair, please finish that. Good. And I also do have the line breaker ability. Also slight positioning error perhaps in that Zubair should have been closer to Bertram to get the inspiring presence. Especially when he's using this weapon. Oh well. So plenty of mistakes I've made, but we might be fine regardless. It's certainly going pretty well. Anyway, so do I move? Or do I line breaker? Or do I do nothing? Can I even move? Maybe. I shouldn't try though. I don't think I should. Let's go for the line breaker though. Maybe I will even go for a thresh attack. Even if it's just against 2 opponents. We'll see. Anyway, so yeah, Necrosavant over there. Bunch of them on Theodobald. Well, let's go for this one. Unless I want to help with the Skellingtons. I think Shuraid can definitely handle this by himself. So maybe going for the Skellingtons now is a good idea. That does help keep Einar alive, and that's pretty important. And also the Bolas get to ignore shields, so... Well, not quite enough, but... That's enough. Okay, so one more Skellington down. Alright, Mahdi. Step out of there, but where? That's a pretty aggressive move if I make that. If I wait, there's the chance of being horrified, but... I think I'll go for the... Well, 68 resolve. 68 resolve. The thing is, if I move here now, these two still get to act during this very round as well. He does have underdog. It also move there. That tile actually isn't in miasma. It's slightly safer. And it does mean I get to act now before he possibly gets horrified. Okay, sure. I think I'll go for that. I think so. Okay, 95 and a nice hit. Okay, that's nasty though. And he did get horrified, but I did use the waiting trick. Milo's doing decent work. Einar is completely fatigued out. Okay, but Wolfgang gets to attack twice here. Yeah, Mahdi now in trouble a little bit. I'll check what the chances of them hitting him was. Yeah, 38, that's pretty high. Swing was 53, okay. Yeah, these beefed up skeletons are no joke, I don't think. I think I'll need to help Mahdi here, and, well, he might die, but as long as we win, then that's fine, I guess. This is the last major goal of the run, so even if, like, 11 of us die, as long as we win, that's a success. Okay. Zahir's turn again. Let's see, so that's 79. I think I'll go for this one. Excellent. We are starting to be fatigued out though. But that's very well done again, so... Good job. So how much do we need in terms of fatigue for the free riposte? 15. So we are not getting it anymore. Unless I recover at some point. Disappointing, but fair enough, I guess. So they might succeed with the Horrify, in which case waiting here is better than ending turn, especially now that I don't get the riposte. I think I'll go for that. Okay, Laverick, please do some work. Misses a 95. Not ideal. Okay, now I can move with Einar. If I'd like. These backliner skeletons, yeah, they actually get to act before Hadi and Zubair. What I can do, though, is go for another 95 Castigate, and after that we are hopefully safe with Einar for a little while. So more of the honor guards are coming in. And this is only 2 targets, but I think it's worthwhile. That should be 2 kills. It is. Okay, good. So far no one has landed a hit on Theodobald. Will that remain to be the case? We'll see. For this round, I mean. Eventually he will definitely get hit. And if it's the Conqueror, then we might be in real trouble, as that means the northern flank is going to kind of collapse. Anyway, he's doing splendid work so far. Okay, acts in 24, yeah, they're also so fast. So I can't really wait for Mahdi to get the Berserk kill there, if he's still even alive by that point. Okay, so this is 12 fatigue to use, which means I can only attack once here. It should maybe be on a Praetorian here to keep Mahdi and Theodobald as well a little bit safer. Instead of this Centurion there, which has been dazed as well. Does mean taking miasma damage as well, so that's problematic. And also this honor guard might be ending his turn there, which is going to be nasty for Wolfgang. But I think that's still probably what I should be doing. Okay, does get a kill. Now completely fatigued out though. Okay, Centurion or Savant. I think I'll go for the Centurion here. Even though he is dazed. But I could only attack once, so maybe the better course of action would have been to recover. Well, in any case, he did land a hit. So that's good. Alright, so next round I probably do want to recover, maybe. So I can still reposition a little bit, and this weapon does have a split attack, so I want to avoid that. So move there. Okay, that's good. I think at this point I will use Shield Wall. We're still doing pretty well with the fatigue with Theobald, and I really don't want to be hit by the Conqueror. And in hindsight, I maybe should have used this Shield Wall in conjunction with the Indom earlier. So maybe we've been getting a little bit lucky with Theobald. Getting hit even like twice by any weapon here, except this something like this Ancient Sword, would be pretty devastating. Even with the Indom, I think that's the case. Well, anyway. Okay, not hit yet. Neither is Milo. Milo's doing better than I expected. Mahdi's doing a little bit worse than I expected. Bunch of rotations are happening. Okay, what were their chances to hit Milo? 5% only. I can even get this kill, maybe. So I'm considering not shield walling here. Well, let's go for an attack first. Okay, so as long as we land on 95, it should be a kill, so I'll go for it. Okay, good. So, melee defense of 72. And obviously they don't have Backstabber. If they did have Backstabber, then we would be dead, I think. I think I will go for the shield wall. That's the safer course of action. Also helps the riposting. Okay, so out of fatigue for these abilities. I'll wait and see if a rally is necessary. It's most likely not. Okay, Hadi gets hit. Okay, and that's bad. That is bad. Mahdi has been horrified. Doesn't get to act during this round. So we miss out on a bunch of damage, and it also means he's going to die easier, and he is next to a Savant and an Honor Guard. Well, it is what it is. But yeah, I made a positioning error with Mahdi as well. He should have started somewhere to the south, I think. Since his resolve is so much lower. Anyway. Go for that. Yeah, and I'm really a little bit disappointed in myself that I didn't also start Zubair closer to the banner. Alright, I think this is just time for damage instead of a stun with Hadi. That's a good one. And that was by no means guaranteed. I think Mahdi is going to die. Hopefully he gets to act like once more at least. Completely fatigued out here, so I might even be recovering there. It also means I get the riposte again. Taking miasma damage. I think this is a time for recover here instead of going for 58 here. Which I think would kill, unless maybe it's a headshot, maybe. Taking more damage. At this point, maybe I should make an effort to get Supar closer to the banner. But, yeah... I'll try it. He hasn't taken any damage yet. Gets hit by 40. Okay, well, fair enough. That is fair enough. 25 of them left. None of us have died, but this is far from over. Leofric has taken a bunch of damage, and as we've observed plenty of times, he doesn't have underdog. Gets the kill there. Yeah, this is probably down to the positioning on my part, so... I think I do need to stick around here. But ideally I can get Supar like over there pretty soon. Hopefully like during this very round. And hopefully Leofric and Mahdi stay alive for one more round. At least. Well, when you miss a 90 against an honor guard, then the odds are against you. Anyway, like I said, I will recover here. That gets us the riposte again. Savants are repositioning. 24 of them left, but yeah. It's not looking great. I think I will go for this skill here. So move with Charade. And then we need to help Gerhard, I think, since he cannot take Savant heat for long. That does mean not attacking further here. Which is a bit of a shame, but he definitely does need the help there. Even though we've dealt with half of them, we might be about to collapse if things go poorly. But yeah, hopefully Hadi gets this kill, in which case Supar is free to move somewhere around here. Anyway, I think yes, Gerhard definitely needs the help, so move there. Can Einar move and attack? Yes. If it's the single target attack. I think I possibly wait though, since I might be getting a good castigate again. Maybe. Bertram is also a little bit exposed there. So I might want to reposition with him, but the problem is if I do, then I'm no longer within rally range of these guys. But the good news is that they are both confident, so that's probably fine. Even Mahdi is still confident, even though he might be about to die. Like very soon here. Yeah, if these guys connect their shots, he will die. Anyway, so yeah, I think waiting with Einar is probably the right move. Probably, unless I want to go for this one, which does free up, if it's a kill, it does free up Hadi. Maybe that's better. Yeah, maybe that is better. It frees up both Supar and Hadi if that's the case, so let's go for that. Well, it's not quite enough. Left at 3 hit points. But Hadi only needs to land 1 hit in that case. So, kind of good. And I can't attack here twice, but I don't know. Maybe I should recover or maybe I should attack once. We don't have battle flow on you either. But if Mahdi falls, then Wolfgang will follow very shortly. Especially if the Savant here also connects. Decides to go for Wolfgang again next round and connects. Well, anyway, I think I will recover. Hopefully he doesn't get horrified, because that would be horrifying. Excellent work by the riposte. Okay, and this is a recover. Oh dear. Mahdi's armor has been completely annihilated. Head armor is completely intact though. So yeah, he's about to die. He does have the rotation, but also who would he rotate with? Maybe like Milo if we can, but yeah, probably never gets the chance to do that. Oh well. Oh well. Anyway, Bertram I think just waits. The riposte is very good. I should make a note of that. Maybe I have like a bunch of guys with shields and noble swords, famed ones ideally. That would be very good, as long as they also have a lot of hit points. That might be probably better for this fight than like a big axe guy who can deal damage but will also go down very fast. Anyway, keep on doing both of those things. Oh yeah. Damn it, weapon is about to break. Okay, another mistake. Well, I can pick up like a... I can pick up a skeleton weapon at some point. I also do have the daggers, but yes, that is another mistake on my part. I should have realized that's going to happen. Anyway, that's partly due to the riposte, of course, which, since I don't have that much experience with Reforged yet, I guess that's the reason I didn't think of that. Like, I might have thought of that at some point, but I forgot about it. Anyway. Okay, that keeps Mahdi alive for 1 round, which is excellent. And I can probably reposition Milo as well, which means Mahdi might live for a little while. I think I should do that. So that keeps it as an option. As long as he doesn't get horrified again. Which he doesn't. Okay, good. Can I even go for an attack and do the rotation? Yes. So I can go for a Savant or the Honor Guard. So we are cutting it pretty close here, but 20 enemies left. So yeah, it's looking decent. Plenty of minor to mediocre mistakes I've made though. Anyway. Obviously both of these opponents are pretty nasty. I think the Savant is nastier though, so go for that. And you do land a 95. Good to see. So there is even a chance that Mahdi makes it out of this fight as long as we prevail. I don't think it's a very high chance. But anyway. Okay, please finish that stupid skeleton. You did. Excellent. So these throwing axes do have the overwhelm. So I'm wondering, should I go for this guy just because of the overwhelm? That might keep Leofric alive and kicking for longer. That does mean putting Hadi at a bit of a dangerous spot though. Melee defense of 45, 72 hit points. This is slightly safer, but it's in Miasma. So yeah, once again, this new weapon does come with downsides. So potentially this guy can hit Hadi if he moves there. I think he can take like a couple of hits though. Not more than that, but... theoretically this guy also will move there. Well, in any case, Bertram kind of needs help here. I'll leave this kill for Zahiri, I think, even though the weapon is about to break. Yeah, definite mistake on my part. Well, at least he does have the Quatal Dagger. It's going to be really bad in comparison, though. Anyway, do that. Do that. I'm a bit disappointed in myself with that decision as well. No, it wasn't a decision, it was an oversight. I really should have realized that this weapon would break. Like, I have a backup weapon for Zuraid, but he hasn't been needing it since he has been only attacking savants here. Well, I'm only human after all. 19 enemies remain. And at this point, Bertram's main utility is Inspiring Presence and I guess Impale to a little tiny extent. So I did recover with Wolfgang and also with Gerhard, which means Inspiring Presence here would be pretty good. However, if I stay put and move Zubair there, then that's also pretty nice. Any ally who is adjacent to an enemy or is adjacent to an ally who is adjacent to an enemy gains +3 action points. Well, if I understand it correctly, if I move Zubair where Bertram is now, then he will get it, but the issue with that is that this Necrosavant is very likely going to reposition anyway, so that's not going to apply. And also, Hadi is not next to an enemy. I could also move here. That's a bit dangerous, though. I mean, I don't know. This is also dangerous, but I guess it's slightly safer. Zahiri gets Inspiring Presence. He doesn't really use it because his weapon is about to break, and also because he's, again, running out of fatigue. Mahdi gets it, but he's also out of fatigue, and also might be about to die. At least I think he gets it from there. Shuraid could use some Inspiring Presence, which he is, if I'm understanding this correctly, currently already getting. Well, I don't know. Getting it, I think, for Zubair is better than getting it for, like, Gerhard, who gets fatigued out so quickly anyway. How safe is this spot? Well, it's not safe, but I think he's fine there for a while. Even though it is in the miasma, obviously. So move there and go for an attack here. That's a 57. That's 57. Okay, go for the 57 there and miss. Zubair over there finally gets that Inspiring Presence, though, I don't know. That's also not the optimal spot for it, not anymore. If I move there, I don't know, that's also not that great. Well, in any case, move there. Move there, and you do... Also, your weapon is about to break. Did I bring a backup for you? Well, of course I didn't. Of course I didn't. Well, at least the fight is kind of nearing the end. Okay, that's a good stun, by the way. Which one do I go for? Acts in... Well, I can finish this with Zahiri, even with the Quatal Dagger, so go for that. Okay, Einar dodges. Einar dodges. Good job, Einar. Excellent job, Einar. Dodges 3 Necrosavants there. Bad news is that Shuraid is now way off course. Not near the savants anymore. What I can do, though, is keep Mahdi alive. So this weapon has a split, so maybe not. So blocking this Praetorian is maybe what we do here. He doesn't get to attack, but he doesn't... I can't move anywhere and attack anyway. Also, I do have the cover ally ability, which maybe I should have used at some point. Maybe? I don't know. Currently, it's not going to be of any use. I think we'll go for this. It's definitely worthwhile keeping Mahdi alive, if we can. Hopefully we can. And getting a kill here would be ideal, but that's probably not going to happen. I think we go for this one. It will maybe get to act, but between Wolfgang and Milo, maybe we can destroy it before it gets to split Mahdi. And also, yes, the overwhelm does help. Einar is in real trouble here, but he can do a castigate. 66 on all of them, yeah. And Hadi, I guess, will be providing support, perhaps. Okay, lands 2. Good job. So here his weapon is at 9%. Well, finish this, I guess. 4%, so now I should switch. There is... Yes, actually, yes. The passing steps works in our favor. There is a sword on the ground, as well as a crypt cleaver. So I guess I do passing step there. Is there anything beneath you now? Well, there is, but it's just a shield. Okay. So do the switch there. I could go for the cleaver instead, but I don't think so. Not when I don't have... Well, I don't have cleavers, nor do I have Weapon Master, so go for the Ancient Sword. Which is not terrible. The durability is pretty low, though. Also, I've never actually used this in Reforged, but it does have a stab attack for 3 AP. Okay. I have seen that ability used, of course, but I haven't used it myself. Anyway, now I think we'll finish this guy and step right back. Excellent. So currently are we getting riposte? Yes. If I attack again, I don't think we are. Yeah, we aren't, so I think we just end here. Oh, I'm not getting the riposte. Why not? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter why not, but I don't know, maybe I miscalculated the fatigue there. No, I do have more than 15, so not sure why. Not sure if that's a bug or if I misunderstood something. Well, anyway. So Gerhard, yeah, okay. This is a nice spot for him. Gets to do Reap on 3 Savants. Or perhaps an Honor Guard. Maybe the Honor Guard is better, I don't know. But anyway, steps there. 85. Okay, lands 2. Bertram waits. Theobald has been excellent in this fight. Might be the last time we do both of these, though. Okay, and Subair, 12 action points. Well, it's not ideal, because no one's next to him. But at least we got that Inspiring Presence once, and I can move like there and do a Thresh if I'd like. It's only against 2 opponents, though. So, not really ideal. The single target attack might even be better, even if I do move there. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I could also wait. Is there a point in waiting? Probably not. I could also help with these ones, like from there, but that's a bit of a waste of damage. I think I'll just move there. 95 or 95? Well, currently Zahir is doing good, so he doesn't really need the help currently. So I think go for the more dangerous opponent, even though the Kopesh is also quite dangerous. Okay, good job. And also, yes, that does also help Zahiri, so kind of a moot point. And also, yes, there are 3 priests, so not sure what I was confused about there earlier. Anyway, 16% for Milo's sword. Well, still go for this. 12%. And 8%, and also got like a headshot there, I think. So the honor guard does seem to get to act. Mahdi does get to act as well, so maybe he's fine. Maybe. Hopefully. Okay, Milo gets hit by 30%er. Fair enough. Okay, Hadi hopefully finishes both of these. It is a 95. Good job. Alright, 15 enemies remain, so I think it's pretty safe to say we won. Now the question is, does everyone survive or not? But yeah, despite the mistakes, I did prepare enough for this fight for it to be a victory. And Mahdi might even live. I can maybe even use him semi-aggressively here against the priests, though... Well, I think it's probably fine. Also, we do want his contribution. Okay, so here he gets hit in the head, but he's still holding. Gets hit again, so now he does need the help. Well, it's a good thing that Zubair is there to provide that help. Alright, 14 left. Einar might be about to die to the Savants, but I guess that's fine. It is what it is, if it happens. 57 to kill an honor guard. I guess we'll go for it. We missed though. Okay, Leofric. 14 action points, which means I can move and attack twice there, but... I don't know, maybe it's better to go for this Savant, for example, who might be about to kill Einar. Einar does have 9 lives though. Both of these Savants get to act first. Also, the Praetorian is shield walling, that is a consideration. But also, Zahiri has taken damage, and Zahiri is way more important than Einar is, so I think I'll go for the 2 attacks there. Lands 165, can he do it twice? Yes, good job. Einar dodges. Einar doesn't dodge, but he's still alive. Okay, good. Mostly good. And he might also survive, because he does have the support. Alright. Running out of fatigue with Zahiri. I think we'll go for a passing step here to finish this Palatinus. That's probably the right call, I think, as long as we land a 90. Does get it, good. And now I can move him to a slightly safer spot. He is completely out of fatigue though. Might be getting horrified, so I'll wait. Shurade probably does move somewhere there, but I think I'll wait first. Wolfgang, please kill. Thank you. And now, which one of these do I go for? This one is only attacking one of the tanks, so let's go for this Praetorian. Okay, good. I can still castigate, I guess I will. Since I have the pattern recognition, it's 95 and 94. 2 hits, good, excellent. Einar might also get to see another day. There goes the last savant, only 9 enemies remain. So definitely we did prevail. Alright. Also yes, completely forgot about the command ability being a thing. Maybe I should not have forgotten. Anyway, is there a point in using it now? I don't think so. Maybe a slight point. Not really though. Not really though. Supar acts before these enemies anyway. This would be a kill if it's not a headshot at least. So I guess go for it. He misses though. Okay. Theodbolt holding like a champ. An absolute champ. I don't know. Like I said, we perhaps got a bit lucky with him. Since I think none of them have landed a hit. Yeah, his armor is completely intact. So that is a bit lucky, I must say. Despite some really, well, I don't know if bad is the right word to use, but despite some mistakes here, it seems that everything went kind of well in the end. It's not over yet though, so I shouldn't speak too soon. Okay, horrified. I guess I'll do the switch now. Even though, yeah, I don't know. Keeping like one noble sword intact isn't like that big of a deal, but let's do it. And like I said during the poacher run when I did this fight, one of the key components in the failure there was that I didn't have a good tank for the northern flank. And we can definitely see here in this fight why that is the case. Kind of obvious, I guess, but I guess it bears mentioning. Anyway, so yeah, Mahdi should be completely safe there, since these ones are engaged here. Shurade's weapon isn't the best against these opponents, but whatever. I could also move there. Is there a point? I don't know. Provide some surround bonuses. Has more targets available. It is in the miasma, but full health, so I'll do it. Einar has also done really well in this fight. Completely fatigued out, that's understandable. Gerhard repositions somewhere, I guess there. So yes, maybe it was overkill consuming all of those potions and also the strange mushrooms, but it's definitely better to be over-prepared than under-prepared. And suffering even like one casualty early on might tip the scales enough for this to have been a failure. So yeah, I'm really happy about how this turned out, despite my somewhat questionable decisions and oversights. Also, how's this weapon doing? Yeah, this weapon is doing fine with the durability. So, no backup weapon was necessary there for Wolfgang. But I should definitely remember in my future Reforged playthroughs that since I get the free riposte, the sword durabilities are definitely going to be an issue. Like they were here, but I was able to get around it, kind of. And also, when it does become an issue, the fight is at least halfway done. Anyway, let's finish this. Let's finish this. I don't want to start autopiloting, not even when there's only 5 of them left. Okay, 83, I guess I'll go for it. And having like 1, maybe even up to 2 throwers for this fight is pretty good, I think. Based on how this fight went. Hadi is good, but he's a bit of a glass cannon, so I don't know if 2 throwers of the similar level would be as good though. They're really going for Mahdi there. Also, I did get hit, but it's fine. Anyway, Milo, can you pick up a sword somewhere? I'm not going to look like all over the place, but if there's one nearby, then maybe I'll do it. Okay, whatever. Doesn't seem like there is. Just recover for now. Still using just a regular two-handed flanked mace for Leofric though. Has done a good job with that as well. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not getting the riposte there for Zahiri, even though he does have the fatigue. Not sure why. Shouldn't I be getting it? It is available. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have the... Yeah, this weapon doesn't have riposte. Never mind. Never mind. Instead, it has a stab. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. I'm just being a goofball. Okay. Alright. Let's finish this. Just a couple of skeletons and the Conqueror left. Alright. Good. Yeah, take that. Two for one. Good job, Mahdi. Okay. Kind of fitting that the Conqueror is the last to be conquered here. Like I said, I definitely didn't play this perfectly by any means, but since I prepared enough, we are successful. Without 0 casualties, which is very damn nice to see. Okay, there we go. So yes, all of the goals of the run have been accomplished. So good job, team. Alrighty, let's pick up our sword. We get, of course, the Emperor's armor. 400 durability, reflects 25% damage back. So that's pretty good for like Milo, for example. I'll keep the run going for at least one more episode, but I'll decide at some point whether I'll go for more legendary locations or not. But at least let's do like one more big orc camp or something. Okay, so we can fit everything that we found. That's good to see. It's disappointing, Bertram says as he looks at the slain corpses. He snorts and spits. Don't think disappointing is the word for it though. They're just lying there. Bones and coats. Like we'd fought a closet. No flesh, no blood. It's unsatisfying. And knowing that, thinking it through, well, that unnerves me. You got nothing to say to such things other than there's a kernel of truth in the matter. If it weren't the issuances of its lust, why else the vigor for violence? Another sellsword calls you over, interrupting any solemn introspection. Sir, come have a look! You head over and spot a skull sitting in the bed of pauldrons like an egg in the bosom of a well-endowed southerner. The rest of its body is battered and thrown to the winds as far as you can tell. What remains is a decadent slab of chest armor. It is covered in glyphs and treatments, fortunes and historical retellings, and is embroidered with red tassels and combs made of bristly hair. You touch the metal, and the second you do, the skull beside it powders and blows away. The mercenary, seeing this, shrugs rather sheepishly. If you got magical powers, I won't tell no one. Okay, not sure if this was the same guy as before. Probably it was, but whatever. You slug the sellsword in the shoulder and tell him to load the armor into the inventory for later allocation. I should take a closer look at that armor. As the men pack up to leave, you hear a voice behind you. Never were. You turn back and the world darkens in a shrouded tunnel. Your men and their voices fading into the dark until all that remains is an elderly man and a light at the end of all that black, an unsteady flicker, and a warble of flesh trying to hold it. You approach slowly, getting bearing on the speaker. It is a shrewd, elderly man, bent at the waist and bent again at the back, and his arms are thinner than a sword's hilt. You look back to see the world of dark had followed you forward, nothing behind but blackness. Looking forward again, the man is suddenly before you. He looks so similar, like someone you had seen in the past and yet had forgotten. Perhaps someone you had seen in your childhood, a dying uncle glimpsed on your fourth winter, and his last. He is holding the candlestick with wax drooping over his knuckles and rolling down his wrist. You never were meant to be. Never were. Never were. Never were meant to be you, the one they call the false king. You wake on the ground. Mercenaries are looking down at you with concerned stares. You are right, Captain? Getting up, you tell them you were just... Why are there so many spelling mistakes here? Getting up, you tell them that you just fell into a quick nap. You look back at the Black Monolith and you can see yourself in the obelisk's reflection, and it is your reflection alone. So yeah, I really like this writing, but some mistakes there. Anyway, I made more mistakes in this episode than whoever wrote that. I think the game had like one writer. I'm not sure if he wrote everything. Anyway. Overall, the writing in the game is pretty damn good. Even with the minor mistakes. Anyway, so yes, we are successful. Hooray for us. And we find a semi-easy orc camp. Anyway, so I will end the episode here. On our way back to civilization, we'll probably do Vorkash Sapat, and it's possible that that's the final episode of the run, but I'll decide on that later on my own time. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I shall see you next time.